Reserve time.
Weaver.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
If you hadn't watched much Dota since the International, you would be forgiven to think that this is actually the grand final matchup. After all, on one side, you have a multi-major champion team facing up against the recent TI winners. Unfortunately, after this match, one of these teams is going to be eliminated from the Kiev Major, and it's actually the TI champs who probably come in here the underdogs, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a fairly tough group stage. They got a lot of 1-2s, 2-1s kind of area, but it's going to be a tough match. And OG doesn't fit me with the same confidence that they did not even 3 weeks ago. After the DAC loss, where they clearly had troubles against IG, they haven't quite looked the same. And we'll see how the draft works out here.
What do you think about the draft? Because I'm feeling like, I'm looking at Team Random, they ran one Alchemist in the group stage, and they lost against a counterpick Timbersaw, and I see the same exact thing here from OG. They counterpicked with the Timbersaw, and also, just to add a little bit of flavor on top of that, they have an Enigma too.
Yeah, but the difference is that the Enigma was always paired with the Naga Siren for it to be super effective. So I'm very curious to see how S4 plays it in this game in comparison to the last one. And the other important thing is because of the Weaver pick, that means they can ditch their carry a lot, and their supports can actually pressure the mid lane. So that's maybe where it could work for Team Random.
I think one of the interesting things is we may see a potential early Aghanim Scepter passed away, because we do have this Weaver, right? And the Aghanim Scepter is probably one of the most value ones here. He's already going to have issues against some of these heroes, so will Leshrac, for mentioning that. He's also kind of counterpicked, right? Leshrac going up against the Spectre, that's also going to be dangerous. I feel like many of these cores from Team Random are going to have survivability problems against the OG lineup.
Yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. Time-lapse Ags is fantastic. The only downside is that it always has to be the Alk in the front line getting hit. But they have great Ags heroes to put that on. Night Stalker could be really crucial this game as well. Very good at spotting out enemy heroes. They can see where the Black Hole is going to come from, where the Monkey King is. Things like that could change the fight if they initiate properly.
We were having that conversation during the draft. How do you feel about the Night Stalker being picked up against the Monkey King? Do you feel like the vision offered is actually going to be a suitable, let's say, soft counter against the Monkey King?
Yeah, I think it's pretty effective. I feel like most of that's going to come down to things like whether Monkey split pushes, or especially fights around Roche are where it's going to be the most impactful in my opinion. But yeah, if you spot him out, disable him up there, prevent him from leaping maybe, and cut the tree, yeah, absolutely will be huge. But it still will be a delay until he gets the Ag. He'll most likely have to farm it himself, because Alex got to buy like at least 4 or 5 items before he starts pulling Ags. And at that point, if Night Stalker doesn't have it, yeah, he'll get it first. But that's going to be at least 30 minutes into the game.
Man, it really is. Team Random, you're talking about their variety in hero picks. Jarek's going to pop out as a courier and start laying into Shadow, doing the simple zoning that only Monkey King is capable of with level 1 Jingu Mastery.
And I do like his starting item build here. Some monkeys were starting Poor Man's Shield even at the end of DAC, but now Orb of Venom has just seemed to be way too important. And going back into the better skill, really, Jingu Mastery, like you're going to get 4 hits in most cases with the Orb of Venom, and that makes sure that nobody can trade with you, even if you have no armor. Stout Shield gives you enough.
Yeah, especially an Alchemist, right? Not really known to be a heavy hitter in the beginning of the game, so Shadow's just going to have nothing pretty much in this laning phase until Monkey King eventually leaves him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we do have S4's Enigma, who's granted a 1v1 against the Weaver, which I imagine won't be too terrible for him, as Random are actually going to be running an aggressive tri-lane. Crystal Maiden, Lashrak, Ice seems to be kind of wandering around, might be dealing with Jerix right now, but there is a lot of threat on the table, it seems, to deal with the Spectre in the laning phase.
Yeah, the Crystal Maiden and the Lesh actually did smoke to the top lane at the start of the laning stage. Like after the Bounty Rune kind of a timing, didn't get a kill, and now he's got to go mid because the Alk was having such a hard time there. So Faith Beyond will have a pretty good lane with the 2v2 here, and CM will do her best to interrupt Fly. Fly's ability to get last hits and pulls off, but I think the start that Monkey King created for Ana is already a huge advantage.
Get him, Ice. Lay down the
Disco Pony?
Yeah, Disco Pony, baby.
I'm really curious to see how the Lesh works out this game as well. Hasn't been, I
Yeah.
think this is the first Lesh pick of the tournament. He's being played as a support. And historically, the way Lesh works is you either become a core or you chain feed mercilessly because you don't have the items, you don't have the HP. But I'm curious to see how well Diabolic Edict works. It's a great ability for trading. It's going to be really effective actually against Jerix. Not to mention he can also break trees with Split Earth to try to catch Monkey King. So there's some cool things about it. Not to mention the Alk Eggs pool that could eventually come. Could be impactful. Might be. We'll see.
That's probably going to be like a super late game pickup if we see it all, right? There's probably going to be some... What do you think is the highest priority Aghanim Scepter? You think it's Weaver, or do you think
Weaver.
It's like Night Stalker?
I mean, like I said, if Night Stalker doesn't have it yet, you give it to Night Stalker, but I think Weaver's easily the best one just because the stats are perfect. The hero just wants to get more tanky so he can time-lapse himself, and then now he can start time-lapsing Alchemist, anybody else that gets engaged on. So definitely Weaver #1.
Wine's going to be playing off of the off-lane jungle, it appears, and is going to be kind of bouncing back and forth between this top lane. They want to make sure that No-Tail is not able to get much out of this laning phase because, as we talked about, the Spectre should be able to make a lot of damage happen to these enemy supports. They should just be kind of like constantly being fed away to this Spectre if she can have a good start and actually start this game with a lead. Mid, again, Shadow going to be threatened by Ana. He's having a great start, 21-4 on the CS chart compared to the 14-0 of Shadow.
And he's still last hitting very well despite the Lashrak sitting mid for the last few minutes. Ice with 1 point in Edict, 1 point in Stun, but it's just so difficult to actually deal with Ana or zone him for Ice. So I feel like in some ways he's just hurting Shadow's experience gain, but I think that's all right because really Alchemist is about the farm a little bit more than the experience.
You know what I noticed is No-Tail is, they're actually going to have a go here onto Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond going to throw out that nuke onto Fly, trying to get away, but it looks like there's just going to be too much slow for him. The 4-minute rune, or nighttime is coming up, but it's not going to be fast enough. Fly is going to be the one who picks up the first blood, hopefully getting him some much-needed boots. Yeah, he went for the safe play there. He maybe could have done an Ether Shock to get the kill, but opted to go for Shackles instead to guarantee it. That's why he was just simply walking instead of auto-attacking. And a really nice pickup to start the game. It is first nighttime, though, so it's going to be a bit easier for Faith Beyond. And he picked up level 4 in the first spotted. Ice. He thought he was going to be able to wrap around and catch out S4, but Jerix TP's in, immediately spots him while sitting on top of the trees, and they jump down to claim the second kill of the game. It's just the Lesh problem, basically. If they go on you, they're going to know that your stun's coming, and the delay is so big. So straightforward kill to kill Lesh. Blink is beginning to pick up a little bit better CS. Early on, he was actually suffering against the Enigma and the power of the Eidolons, but it appears now he's got enough threatening power that Enigma won't really be able to stay in lane too much against that Weaver. The combination of physical damage and the swarm just taken away on you seems to be too much, so it seems like S4 is actually going to play jungle a little bit more. Yeah, this is the right thing to do. I actually played this matchup a couple days ago, maybe a week ago on the Enigma, and you do have to be careful around those 4 to 6 levels if supports rotate in and he gets bugs on you. He actually can kill you quite rapidly, not to mention easily pick off Eidolons. So the longer you stay in lane, yeah, you're going to deny some experience, but you can't feed Eidolons and give him those kill potentials. So it's much safer for Enigma to hit up the jungle. And he's actually not going to go for the Midas build, surprisingly. He was one of the first players I saw start this trend, but looks like he's going back towards standard. Maybe OG did a lot of thinking about Midas the last couple days. Yeah, it seems like they were investing pretty heavily into Midas's group stage. No-Tail silenced up, slowed down, not able to get off the Spectral Dagger just yet. Finally gets it away into the trees and will manage to get out No-Tail. once again, dealing with the pressure very well. I've noticed this about him. He always gets his CS, and he seems to always be able to survive through these ganks. What a cheeky little play here from Ice Ice. I wonder how long it's going to be until OG notices what's happening
he's
here.
doing this?
He's sticking around. He's going to stay here and Diabolic Edict this mid tower away. And this is an incredibly important tower to keep healthy.
This is an older trick. I mean, I saw this on Reddit like months ago, but this is a pro game, man. Like, he's like, all right, surely that was actually like the tower's full HP. He just did 1,000 damage to this. Was this 2 Diabolic Edicts?
Oh, man. I wish we could get the audio in the booth once, like, OG realized.
If they even realized, they didn't move for it or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this was Jarek's rotating over, but that's so big. That's so abusable.
The wrap here from OG onto the mid lane. Y is going to show himself, immediately going to be pounced on, and shouldn't have much of a chance here, especially with Fly able to secure the kill. That being said, both Weaver and Night Stalker on their way, and they're very mobile heroes, but S4 can turn things around. He managed to get a 3-man ulti with the follow-up from Anna. They're going to be able to take all these kills. S4 comes in big time and says, I do not need a Naga Siren to set me up. S4 runs right into Ice Ice, though. Maybe he can get at least one turnaround kill with the help of Innocence as he's back to life. A small bit of vengeance for Team Random, but it won't outdo the damage done in a big sweep by OG in that mid lane.
Man, 3 heroes in a black hole at 7 minutes. That's just amazing. And things looked pretty bad for OG there. Jarek didn't get his Jingu Mastery from the CM kill. He was about to get the hit off. He didn't. Anna got very low. But that black hole, man, what a tempo setter. Who cares about the tower at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. OG asserting their dominance, bringing so many heroes to the mid lane to ensure they have a successful fight against that Alchemist, start shutting him down.
And it was so early, too. That's the best thing you can do. Hit 6, use Black Hole, wait it out, and they're going to get the tower.
And it's the first nighttime. Yep. Ice Ice.
They just
pop it now. Anna's like, oh, Jesus. My tower's almost dead. It's going to go into deny range here pretty quick. Top lane, Innocence, tries to go on to Fly here. No Tail kind of intercepting Faith Beyond, and
that tower's dead.
Yeah.
It's got 43 HP left. That's actually insane. They just realized it right there. Ice Ice wasn't too greedy the first time. He did 2 edicts. But, I mean, it's early game, right? Towers are going to get attacked. Your eyes aren't going to be everywhere. The game says your tower's under attack. Who cares? Oh, some tower took 1 hit, right? That's what you expect. And instead, they just lose a tower at the start of the game when they're losing. It's insane.
Look at this. You see S4. He was coming in nice and early. He sees this fight. He sees the TPs, and he's like, oh, baby.
The way he approached was so smart. And going through the trees.
Right. Making sure that he was out of vision for as long as humanly possible until it was just too late.
And they found the Weaver there. They didn't even realize they caught him. That was a 2-man black hole for them. They got the extra surprise at the end. Here comes the hype. There it is. What a beautiful black hole.
Another thing to talk about, that was the first nighttime of the Night Stalker. Can't say that I was super successful for Team Random. I kind of feel like with this off-lane Night Stalker, first time nighttime can kind of go awry. It's okay, but it's second time nighttime that really needs to feel the pressure of the off-lane Night Stalker. Oh, they're actually going to try and jump in for this one. Fly is going to be stopped here, unable to complete the shackles, and now we'll have the full heal from Blink as they pick up that support. No Tail is deep behind the tower. He's going to TP away, so it looks like OG may just have to give up this safe lane tower, but if you look at the other sides of the map, bottom lane being controlled by S4, mid being pressured by Anna. Completely okay to abandon this safe lane at this point for OG.
They're going to try to kill Alchemist, maybe. No, maybe not. Jarek's just hopping down. Ultimate used.
Okay, they're still going to go for it. Jarek's, he has the ultimate too. He's going to lay it down. They're going to get a lot of damage on his shell. Can they finish him off in time? They will, and it doesn't look like there's going to be much of a rebuttal from Team Random. They just can't seem to bring the numbers there. They're already committed at the top lane, so OG starts striking on that mid tower.
Man, it was actually so fortunate for OG that their mid wasn't Timbersaw, a typical offlane hero, because if that tower goes down, when it does, and you're playing Alina or something, it becomes so easy to gank you. But instead, he can actually just frontline, still push this tower, and equalize that deficit.
Jarek's seeing if he can maybe catch another Team Random member as they get a bit too close to that tower, but it does go down. And the added plus side, right, their tower did go down early, but they managed to deny it.
Yeah.
OG just picked up Team Random's tower and claimed the full bounty. So OG really not missing much of a beat here.
But it feels pretty good for Random as well, though. Like I pointed out earlier, Weaver's so good at just solo pushing lanes and being survivable while he does it. He can sit top lane for a long time. He does have to worry about things like Shadow Shaman, Black Hole, stuff like that, but There's not that many disables, so outside of Shadow Shaman, I think he'll be fairly safe to keep pushing this. OG's going to continue the tempo, though. They need to offset the tower advantage that Random got.
No Tail's going to try and stand in front of Blink's push at the top lane while they claim the bottom tier 1. No contest from Team Random.
Yeah. I mean, they've got Black Hole up. Does he have his Midas coming now on Enigma? He does? Okay, so he still goes Midas. Just picks up the Ring of Regen first. I feel like maybe if the game was a bit different, he might have gone back for Mech, or this is just casual Ring of Regen.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Rotations back by OG.
It's kind of a big show of force to TP the Enigma there with Envision.
Yeah.
A little surprised, but maybe this is done also so that they don't feel comfortable ganking Spectre. I mean, he could rotate over, obviously, but he'd rather just AFK jungle, not use Black Hole, force his opponents to leave. So maybe that's why he did it with such vision. Teams do intentionally show sometimes like that.
And I feel like another big thing is that OG, they're not really too concerned about playing more of a static game, right? Like most of the time you're against this Alchemist, you feel pressured. Like you want to be able to end the game pretty quickly. But in a game like this, you're actually looking at OG's lineup. They've got a great late game hero in Spectre. They've got a great farming hero in the Enigma. Timbersaw, Monkey King, Shadow Shaman are all going to scale decently well into the mid game as well. So, you know, for them, it's like they don't really need to really be all that aggressive and hunting down these heroes. They're actually pushing into pretty deep into Team Random side of the map, despite it being nighttime, just feeling that apparently their 4-man is just stronger, no matter what, even if it is to the advantage of the Night Stalker right now. They're going to jump on a Blink, maybe trying to force out his ultimate, doesn't actually go for it, while Fly's picked up by Ice and Fate Beyond. That's going to be a little tough. He's going to have to go back and heal, but I think it was a good choice not to use it there, just because there could be a fight in the next 20-30 seconds. Time-lapse level 1, 60-second cooldown is pretty big, actually. But with the Shrine not having regen, maybe it wasn't worth it after all. They're trying to get No-Tail. This is the person to gank right now. Oh, that'd be perfect. They've got the silence on him before the dagger. There's really not much No-Tail can do here. They still have the follow-up disable coming out from the Crystal Main. He'll be able to take that kill. Nice jump away from Blink there towards the tail end, but it does look like Faith Beyond's going to go down to Ana, and Y probably not going to make it out either. Run over by Ana with a Chakram. Last one, Ice. Turns around, Jerix not following into Ice's stun, so neither one of those two supports will end up falling.
Very close. Anna's been using his Timber skills perfectly. Like,
yeah,
chasing heroes like that, when they know that they can see you, it can be difficult to land your abilities. This guy seems completely up to speed on Timber.
He's going to have a nice and early Bloodstone. He really won't be dying anytime soon with that.
The hood pickup is going to be great. There is a good amount of physical damage coming from Random. You know, things like Diabolic Edict, Weaver right clicks, Acid Spray, and Alk right clicks. But it's going to be a while until the physical is actually scary.
It's going to be a little bit earlier because Weaver's actually not going to be going straight into a Deso after the Dragonlance. He's going to take the earlier stop into a Medallion. We've seen this a number of times. Jerix, a little bit spotted out there.
Are you thinking they'll go all the way for Solar Crest as well, or do you?
I'm thinking maybe just because they're going to have such a... They need to actually have team fight potential right now, so waiting until the Desolator doesn't really sound like they're just going to miss a timing and OG's just going to be too strong, right? They're going to have Radiance by the time you have Desolator potentially. Yeah,
that's a good point. And Alchemist is going to finish Radiance way before Weaver would finish it as well, while grabbing your typical Dragonlance, tanky item kind of thing. So I actually like this a lot, especially when you think about how Alk might turn Weaver into a 4-ish position typical Weaver where you sit back and time-lapse the guy.
Right.
You know, going for a fast Solar Crest could genuinely make Alk unkillable in the early game, if there wasn't so much magic and pure damage on OG's side.
And it's going to cost him a lot of HP and all of his mana, but he will take this Ancient Stack away from Team Random. Meanwhile, Random were actually smoked out, pushing into OG's jungle. Haven't really found much with it yet. It looks like they're going to be able to catch S4 here, slow him down, but the TPs are going to be coming in. Is it worth it to be able to chase down this kill? They're immediately going to be stunned up. 2-man stun, but Jerix Faith Beyond is gone already. They pop out the time lapse from Blink as he runs himself away, but once again, Y is going to be the leftovers. He's the extra kill that Timbersaw, or actually No-Tail, will be able to claim instead. That is actually great. The Spectre could use a little bit of boost in net worth at this time.
I mean, the Enigma kill's great and all, but it seemed very, very, very over-eager there to go for that dive.
Yeah.
Especially with Haunt, like, Spectre's always going to be there, and all it really takes is maybe one more hero on top of that and you get a kill.
Oh, Jesus. Blink with this extra minus armor almost finishes off Fly despite an instant TP from the Shadow Shaman.
That hero does not have a lot of armor. Very good base strength, actually. One of the very interesting fact about the hero. Normally seen as squishy, but
got to do something to compensate for that incredibly slow movement speed.
That's true, actually. Oh, good luck, Shadow. That one's gonna have to pay for that one.
Jerix is being quite the nuisance for this Monkey King. We talked about how Monkey King's laning phase can kind of be hit or miss, and I feel like Jerix has kind of done everything he needed to so far. They're going to try and slow down Shadow here.
He's
Jerix,
messing with them.
yeah, I think he's just trying to like make them a little bit scared. He's actually going to throw out the ultimate. Now the heroes are coming in soon. No Tail throws out the dagger. Shadow is pretty tanky. He does have that armlet to be able to toggle on and off, but the Urn is on top of him now. They do have Y trying to slow down these heroes, but ends up getting cut down nonetheless. No Tail in some trouble. Double control. He's going to fall, and Ana actually misses his chain, and the magic damage just rips him apart. S4 is here though, and he does have it in his room, but it looks like he's just not going to be in position for a good black hole. The damage is no longer there, and OG are just falling apart now. A team fight turns terrible for them, and they're going to be able to wipe every single member of OG.
Man, OG, they really thought they had that, and Jerix did such a good job slowing down the Alchemist, doing the first disable, jumping back into the tree, then going for the ulti stun, but they just didn't kill him in time, and they overestimated how much damage they would do, whether or not they'd be able to kill the Alch, and they did all this chasing, very long chase, and in front of an enemy tower. Random played great there to basically just chain disable their opponents, and No Tail maybe was the first domino falling in that giant cascade of OG feeding.
This is something that is going to be unique for both the teams. We don't normally see this, but both teams have a support that actually puts a lot of pressure on towers. So when you lose a fight like this, it's actually so much more than your regular game of Dota, because we're going to have this Lashrak or this Shadow Shaman being able to push down some of these tier 2s nice and quick when you lose fights like this.
They almost didn't even get Shadow there. He had to go for an armlet toggle, but the Urn and maybe some of the Spectre reflection damage guaranteed his death, and Ana missing the Timber Chain. Maybe hits it, maybe he still lives, not sure, but
yeah, he didn't even pop his hood there.
Yeah, that bit of a mistake for sure.
I'm sure he still dies either way, but
yeah, most likely. Buys his team maybe a couple more seconds. Very smart for Blink to hit the back line rather than going on the guaranteed dead targets. They just played that fight perfectly, but it certainly was OG getting overly aggressive. They could have played a little bit more safe there. Maybe they feel like they have to pressure because they know the Alch Radiance is almost up, and I guess they did delay it for a bit, but it's flying out now.
And we actually had Blink not completing the Solar Crest, instead picking up a Diffuser Blade. I thought if he wasn't going to get the Solar Crest, then maybe the Lincolns would be an idea, but
this is great. I like it. I mean, if he goes Solar Crest, his damage is just going to be real mediocre, and it's only good if he uses the Solar Crest. And there's enough magic damage where it might not even keep him alive. He had to get at least one more damage item before going back from it. Diffusal is one of the best items on Weaver right now, just because it drains 50 mana per auto attack. So with Geminate, he's going to be able to rip through Spectre, Enigma, Timbersaw as well.
Yeah, Timbersaw could have some mana problems because of that one. Jerix, quick jump away, but they may still be able to catch him out. Faith Beyond does have the vision, and they'll be able to stop the TP with the Void. So now with that pickoff, turn your eyes towards objectives. What's it going to be? Team Random funneling into the Roshan pit. Yep, they're going to try and claim an Aegis here, and I don't think OG can do too much about it. Monkey King is probably one of their best heroes for being able to fight around the Roshan pit, so him being the pickoff kind of works out perfectly to Team Random's favor.
Yeah, so Aegis goes towards Random right now. Big tempo keeps happening. Like you said, the Leshrac gives them towers, and the Medallion plus the Acid Spray, it's so much physical damage that they can take Roche really easily.
There is such a big power spike for Team Random at this point. Like, they've got their Radiance, and we have that Diffuser Blade for Blink. They have an Aegis. It seems like Night Stalker, I think, like, this is one of his stronger periods of time. Obviously, the next one's going to be when he has Aghanim Scepter. Meanwhile, you look at OG, they still don't have that Radiance for Spectre. They don't even have the Relic yet. So they don't even want to get into fights, because if they do and they potentially lose it, then it's going to be the Radiance completely stalled out, and Spectre just won't be much of a hero for another 10-15 minutes.
So maybe OG expected their tempo a bit. Perhaps Enigma shouldn't have gone Midas. Midas is so good on Enigma right now, but maybe he should have skipped it, because the last couple fights just went a little sloppy. If he had a Blink Dagger, maybe he'd get there faster, or a mech, maybe he turns that fight around if he was there a bit earlier. But instead, OG lost a lot of tempo in that last fight, losing the Monkey King, losing the Roshan. It's looking quite good for Random. I do like how the Night Stalker is functioning this game, though. Normally, we just see it against a Caudal, for example, but just being able to reduce your opponent's vision, especially like a Monkey King's, or any heroes, when you're Roshing is amazing. Vision controls like everything in the Rosh pit, so I think the Night Stalker is going to work out really well. He's going to build a Vlad's next, so yeah, he's going to let Shadow buy him the Ag Slave.
All right, I'm down to see that. He's going to go the full typical Naga Siren, Radiance, Illusion build.
Yeah, normally an OG thing.
Farm. And speaking of that, though, do you think Team Random should have any more Hanamitises, like, for example, the Leshrac or something, because Alchemist is going to be taking up so much space? Or is it the fact that he can give away the Aghanim Scepter that it's in some ways acceptable to be a little bit under-farmed when Alchemist is taking so much space?
I'm not too concerned about... I mean, a lot of these heroes, Midas is very difficult to handle. And Leshrac absolutely doesn't profit from it. CM maybe does in a strong way naturally, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, there is less farm, but I think just Night Stalker alone is a healthy fit for Random. They don't want to get too far behind, and they want to make sure they win all their fights, and actual items do that a lot better.
OG are still trying to pressure here. Shadow takes a lot of damage. That is be able to finish him off. Chakram is going to be enough. Now, Ana is in deep, though. He already has the weed bug. Yeah, he's gone. Bugs are on top of him. It's too much for him to handle. They're going to be able to clean up the wards as well, which is basically another hero bounty.
Yeah.
If you're able to get the last hit on all of those.
They missed about half, so I think OG getting some advantage in that fight, I guess. But killing the Aegis is huge. Ana definitely could have suicided, should have suicided, but gives a bit more gold to his opponents. And a little farm comparison here. S4, way higher farm, but no surprise there in the slightest. One of the best farming heroes.
Unable to get away here. Gets purged up, unable to jump to the trees before the damage takes him.
That was punishing as well. He was at 1350 gold towards his Midas, so it's like getting killed right before your relic. Tough for Monkey.
We've got a double damage for Blink too. So this is go time for Team Random.
And even Ice is feeling confident pushing lanes. Leshrac is amazing at that. So OG consistently has to just counter push lanes, put their tanky heroes in the front, and hope they can be the ones that can survive any pressure, as Random just farms the greater half of the map.
Yeah, it's funny how confident their supports feel to be able to push out lanes or be isolated in some way against a Spectre.
Yeah, that is weird, actually.
You see, like, Crystal Bane just kind of like hanging out the opposite side of the map here. I'm a little bit surprised that they're not making a go of pushing into one of these tier 2s. Do you think it's just because Team Random want to make sure they get into that Naga Siren Alchemist build first?
I think it's because it's just a little dangerous to fight. I mean, if they just control the map, I think they're already going to feel Fly is going to most likely die here.
Yeah, they seem like well-positioned to be able to get a lot of pickoffs. Blink may actually be in some real trouble because Jarex is going to be able to come with the additional stun and finish him off. That's a 900 gold bounty for Jarex. He gets his Hanamitises back immediately. Now, they still managed to finish up Fly. Looks like the Bugs managed to finish him off just in time. But that Weaver bounty was huge for OG.
They almost didn't get the kill, too. It came down to right clicks from a Timber Saw. Monkey King. That extra range on Monkey actually saved that gank. And now the tempo changes a bit, but some top pressure. Ooh, they do get Leshrac stun, though. He's interrupted. And Haunt used as well. Fights everywhere, though.
Yeah, that's going to be an easy pickup. Ice definitely dead. Ana starting to recover those Bloodstone charges. The tier 3 did take a serious amount of damage, goes down to about 1,000 HP. That's something that OG are going to have to keep their mind on, especially when the Alchemist split push really comes to the fore.
Did he notice the tree shake here? Jarex is taking so much damage actually from this. Acid rating.
Baby bird.
Increased cooldown on Chemical Rage absolutely can matter. It's a bigger timing windows that you can kill Alk, so if you just keep an eye on him and you know about when it's going to run out, it can be really good for taking fights. But I do feel like Random didn't really want to force 5v5s because OG still does have really good fights. Obviously they had a Radiance advantage, but get the right Black Hole off and everything changes. And S4 is ready to do that now. He's got Black King Bar and he has a Blink Dagger on top of it. So now it comes down to very, very careful positioning for Random.
Yeah, they've got actually nothing to deal with that. Nothing to stop the Black Hole, and really all we could potentially see ever is them actually getting that Aghanim Scepter on Weaver. I think that's the only saving grace. They will never be able to get a stun to stop this Enigma.
Yeah, I guess they won't actually. And it was a last pick Enigma, so not too surprising for a team to not have a counter there. But this is the important timing. BKB Blink. Everything from here on out is going to be luxury items. He is still very, very vulnerable to physical damage. That's maybe the better counter they have right now. Weaver's on the other side, wailing away on the guy, and maybe he's got bugs on himself already. He could die rapidly.
Second tier 2 tower being threatened here. They managed to get the bugs out. Jarex is going to be caught. He's brought down from the tree. They'll be able to take out that support instantly. Now the magic damage coming in. Ana might not be able to escape this one. Ice already positioning himself to catch Ana as he jumps to the tree and is going to be forced into a Bloodstone suicide. OG were split pushing out the side lanes, but they lost Monkey King, and probably much more importantly, that Timbersaw getting dropped down to 6 Bloodstone charges. That is going to really hurt because I don't think we still feel the Spectre carry just yet. You know, it's still Timbersaw who's got to carry that burden.
And it's very reliant on him using Haunt. Anything other than that, and he's going to look even squishier than the Timber is.
Yeah.
I mean, Anna's looks like he knows how to play Timber extremely well, but the heroes and the damage types that Random are throwing out are becoming extremely effective. And it's not just that; it's also the Night Stalker silence that lasts for 7 seconds at nighttime. That's very difficult to deal with for Timbersaw pre his Lotus Orb.
I like this choice of the Lotus against that silence, as well as potentially now like the Yules of Ice, so he's not going to be set up essentially for that split earth.
There's a lot of things you can remove. Frostbite's a huge skill that you can just fully counter. They might catch the Crystal Maiden. They spot him out actually.
But can they get a stun in time? Yep, Jarex is there. No problem.
2 heroes very eager to kill that Crystal Maiden. Got him pretty fast, so. Kill happens, pressure will continue. No-Tail's going to push out the bot lane. This is perfect setup here for OG, really. No-Tail can push this without any threat to his team taking a bad fight. Haunt's ready to go.
No, Litfly have this gold. He's getting real close to that Blink Dagger, and that would be a nice additional threat to be able to catch that Weaver.
Oh, Fly Blink, okay.
Yeah. Because then, like, it's not even like Lincoln's going to really save you, right?
Yeah.
It's just, you know, they pop the Hex, instantly pop
Shackle,
Shackles.
Especially if he goes for the extra Shackle duration. It might be a really good game for it, honestly. I've actually been thinking about the Shadow Shaman level 15 talent. What do you think? 100 range or 35% experience?
I'm feeling the experience just because the level 20 talent is so good.
The 25 is good,
the 25.
Too. I love that. I've never gotten the 25, but 350 Ether Shock damage. That's like a Laguna Blade every 8 seconds or something. That's insane.
That final Eidolon claiming the tier 2 bounty.
So Random going to push out the map a little bit now that they're back respawned. It is Night Stalker night, actually, so another vision advantage. Any pull dags yet? Nope. One more item for Alchemist, and then it's time to start collecting that stuff.
They'll hit this really nice peak, I think. When they get this Aghanim Scepter, they start passing them around. They get one on Weaver, one on Night Stalker. They'll have a Night Stalker, BKB as well.
They got Timber spotted. Great stun.
Beautiful setup. They already have the silence there as well to be able to slow down. But S4 with the BKB is trying to come in, but wasn't able to use his Blink to be able to set things up. No-Tail comes back in. It looks like they will manage to take out Ice. Blink with the BKB has to run away from S4 to make sure he doesn't get caught in the BKB. Shadow actually came in from the right-hand side here, trying to lay hands on Anna, but it's just a bit too tanky, and they seem to be lacking the follow-up support. So Team Random back away.
That was so sick from Innocence there that he swung all the way to the right side and drops the Crystal Nova right before S4 popped BKB, stopping whatever opportunity he saw for the black hole. That was really well done. But the Soul Booster's picked up. Looks like Enigma's not going to go for the build that Kezu did the other day, which was Bloodstone immediately afterwards, which with the 40-second respawn perk at 20 gave him the instant respawn. But with that said, OG's not playing as much of a go high ground lineup. They're getting gone on mid.
Immediately jumping on Fly, but Fly has already gotten the disables out. They're going to be able to catch the Weaver, and the aggression that from Team Random put out actually goes against them. They managed to get the jump in. S4 doesn't throw out the black hole. Team Random made the split just in time. Now wide, lays out his ultimate, immediately stopped by Jarex. Ice comes in. Yule Scepter set up the split Earth. They need to be able to finish off S4 to make sure there is no play there with the black hole. Shadow still gets stunned, but it looks like they will manage to pick up Jarex as an additional kill. This time around, Team Random's aggression works out, even if they did lose the Weaver.
That was a tough one. It looked really good for OG, but all of a sudden their HP just got lower and lower and lower. And even killing the Weaver in the first place was weird. Oh no, Spectre gets caught at the secret shop.
Oh no, they can't afford to lose their Spectre like this, but Spectre's actually fighting out. Can he actually fight through all this damage? He gets Ice, but he dies to Faith Beyond.
Ice making a lot of huge plays there. Spectre just walking up to go buy some items.
Oh, can they actually kill Anna here? The Lotus Orb, that's going to make things difficult for Shadow. Bing, boom, gets knocked right back. Faith Beyond can't really help out. One Chakram, he'd probably be dead. So Shadow with the quick retreat. And 19-20, 30 minutes in. This is actually a pretty even game right now. If you look at some of the gold earned and stuff like that, we have an experience lead of 2,500 for Team Random. 10K lead as well, but that's an Alchemist lead, right? I would say this game is kind of like 50-50.
Yeah, absolutely is right now. Could go both ways. I still think everybody on each team is playing fantastic. They're all doing their roles correctly. Night Stalker has been making the game really tough for a lot of heroes as well. Heroes that need to cast their spells just constantly silenced. BKB's up for him with the Vlad, so he's just going to run in and hit people. This guy's a carry now, might as well be.
Team Random setting up, defending their tier 2. OG just chasing down Alchemist Illusions, wanting to be able to limit the efficiency of farm there for the Alch, as he still needs to be able to pass out those Aghanim Scepter. I feel like those 2 Ags are when Team Random hits their strongest, and then maybe after that point, OG starts taking more and more of an advantage, simply because they have these great late game heroes.
It's definitely possible. I'm still worried about Leshrac having a huge impact as well. That guy's Ags is really good. It's like 2 extra skill points in your Pulse Nova, basically.
And he's farming really well, too. So he's going to have the other items to just back it up.
Atos at least is going to do some good work here.
Ana jumps forward, trying to chase Ice down. There goes S4 with a black hole. They manage to catch 2 members inside of that one. Night Stalker's going to go down pretty fast, and doesn't look like Alchemist is going to be able to survive either. The pure damage from Ana managed to finish him off. It looks like Faith Beyond runs away with his BKB. Y zoning the rest of OG out with his ultimate, but they still want to be able to chase down Faith Beyond. What a Timber Chain on through, almost catches Faith Beyond. They just need S4 to finish him off, and he'll get it with a nuke. Ice doesn't stand much of a chance to be able to finish off these heroes. They're too damn big. He's slowed down, chased down by Ana. Another 3 down for Team Random.
Very close team fight, but this time it looked a lot better for OG. They got their crucial ultimates off in the right way. The Plague, all the Serpent Wards got down. S4 was able to Black Hole Midnight Pulse on top of a BKB Night Stalker, a huge advantage, and on top of the Alchemist as well. So a lot of damage sources there for Random, just not able to do anything for the start of that fight.
Team Random, they do not want to be giving up this Aegis. That's why Blink is already in position to start threatening.
What a Blink.
Tries to go on S4, but great reaction from him.
He still has so many armor problems on S4. He needs a Shivas immediately after he finishes his Octarine, but OG gets here a little bit faster. Still dead heroes on Random, and they should be able to finish.
Just doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do much, so.
That's so good for No Tail here.
A Spectre Aegis? Indeed.
Absolutely. Just run in, man. Do something stupid. Wait to save your haunt. I love the Orb of Venom pickup as well. I think I don't know if it's bugged currently. It got changed, but your illusions actually do apply Orb of Venom. So every time he uses haunt, another small advantage in team fights.
You could see them trying to go on to Ana here, and him being able to get that Timber Chain off just kind of sets up S4 to get this beautiful black hole. And from there on out, there's not much they could do. Like, Blink is still trying to focus on Ana, and he's forced away through the use of his BKB. They really just like focus so heavily on this Timber Saw, they didn't even really come close to bringing him down.
They did clear out the Monkey King pretty rapidly, at least. That was one really nice advantage for them. Night Stalker responsible for that one. But OG is going to be happy with that. Aegis up means Spectre is a lot harder to gank, and buys him more time to grab his next couple items. So at some point, that hero is going to just start going crazy.
We have these very big zones in these team fights that OG just kind of own. Not only do they have the black holes, so basically this AoE around the Enigma is just kind of like their ground constantly, but we're going to have that notorious Monkey King Basher coming in soon. And that's going to mean that ultimate is going to be, I would almost say, like doubly effective. Right?
Absolutely.
It's just like terrible walking into that and pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to be stunned multiple times.
It's an incredible BKB counter as well, because especially if you cast it in the right place and they combo with Black Hole like they did in the last fight, I don't even think the Monkey King would have died there. All he has to do is put it down, stay alive. That part's hard against things like Leshrac and BKB cores and Acid Spray, but that's another item OG maybe needs. A lot of armor or items. Things like a Vlad's would be really effective as well. But it seems most of these guys are just building towards themselves and what they need right now. Makes a lot of sense. S4 actually going to pass up on an armor item. Going to go straight for a Refresher. Probably a good move. Black holes win games.
Absolutely. Especially since we already talked about there's no real counter to him. So Weaver pops out. Looking to chase down that courier. Won't be able to get it. Instead, we'll just challenge the creep wave as best he can. As it is, it does look like Team Random are kind of stuck. The Alchemist is now going back for a BKB. Faith Beyond forced to use the darkness there as an initiation comes out from Ana. Hold that range creep in place.
But OG is farming the map so much better right now. Obviously, Alka is going to be somewhere getting stuff, but
Look at Anna, he just feels indestructible now. Maybe they can bring him down with 4. We'll see. He's already down to half HP. A 5th Mender comes in from Shadow, tries to Manta dodge, doesn't work. Anna has overstayed his boundaries. Pushing in that mid lane so deep, it's nice. Creates a lot of space for the rest of OG, but can't afford to stick around too long.
Yeah. Took a lot of spells to kill him, but another mistake, he didn't use Bloodstone, unless he's thinking about saving it. But I don't think it respawns you faster if you suicide. Am I mistaken on that one?
No, it doesn't. Maybe he, like, I think he might be onto something that he could save it, though, because being able to use it in the middle of a fight could actually be very valuable for No Tail.
Yeah,
simply
perhaps.
because he does have a harder carry on the field. You know?
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
I don't know. We'll see if that ever actually happens or not. Timbersaw is working towards an Aghanim Scepter, obviously going to be delayed a bit. Our Basher is almost here for the Monkey King, and No Tail, he is growing bigger and bigger. Butterfly's going to be up soon for him. At that point in time, it's one of those big tanky moments for the Spectre. Actually going to be teeping away right in front of Team Random. They are going to be able to get the stun in time. He's already down to half HP, but he does have the Aegis, and it doesn't look like Team Random think it's possible to be able to bring him down twice. In fact, they may just be caught up here. Blink is able to catch Fly on the background here, and Fate Beyond's coming in as well. They might be able to kill all the support heroes of this one. They do manage to get the Black Hole onto Shadow. Jarex is going to follow that up with an ultimate of his own, and Team Random aren't in a position to be able to find him. Fate Beyond immediately looks for Jarex, hopes to be able to bring him down as quick as possible. Will manage to take that kill, but now the second life of No Tail is going to play havoc. He's already throwing out his ultimate, looks to be able to catch Shadow, does claim him, manage to juke him out as the unstable concoction goes to the sun, cleans up Ice as well. Blink is having a happy time in the backline, just killing all the supports of OG, but it's the two big cores of OG, No Tail and Anna, that will remain indomitable.
Yeah, the fight was not the best coordination there from OG. The Black Hole was all right, but still a BKB hero, and there wasn't much follow-up, especially because No Tail was mostly respawning Aegis during the stun duration. So they were able to trade about even, which is all right, but considering how close this game is, I feel like OG should be able to take these victories with the better teamfight heroes. Like, once again, Monkey King is still being threatened and killed during the Monkey King ult due to the Night Stalker. Like, this BKB that Faith Beyond picked up is actually won so many team fights because it guarantees that they don't have to deal with Wukong's command for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And even Ana had to buy so many defensive items earlier in the game just because he was there's so many threats that he's just now picking up an Ags that probably would have made a big difference in some of those crucial kills too.
What do you think about this? The minus 10 second Spectral Dagger cooldown over the extra 400 health.
I think it's absolutely fine, honestly. Especially against like minus armor lineups, extra health is not that much better anyways. Fight started, basically Shadow BK being ready to go. He wanted to save Spectre's life, but maybe not the right time to use that. And basically Spectre gets to do nothing in the fight other than respawn, and Monkey King getting picked off by the Night Stalker, it just made the fight very spread out, complicated, and difficult for OG to win one-sidedly.
It seems like because the way like Team Random are kind of building and the way they're kind of playing out some of these earlier night times, they seem comfortable, or at least okay, with going late game here. In your opinion, who really has the better late game? We consider like these Aghanim Scepter, which they have 4 of them, 4 actually really big upgrades. Even Crystal Maidens is really big when you get that AoE Frostbite.
Especially against like Haunt, you could trade ultimates really. They will be within the freezing field usually. Guaranteed to prevent those from attacking and moving. It's not the worst situation ever.
Yeah, it's a 4.5 second ensnare. Right, once you get to level 25, you get the extra 1.5.
I think, honestly, the late games are very similar. Like the Ags on every single player plus Moonshard potential.
Spectral ultimate going to be laid out. Jarex doesn't quite land that stun. So Y is going to be able to get away from No Tail here, at least for the time being. But Anna's going to go in deep, trying to dive into Ice, but now he's going to be caught underneath this tier 3. And here comes the magic damage. Anna trying to make his jump away at the last second. Will manage to get some distance, but not enough to get away from Faith Beyond. No Tail does manage to at least get Ice in return. But again, the Timber Saw has to be worth more than a 4-position Leshrac.
Yeah, they keep forcing kind of weird, difficult to succeed at fights, and Blink is getting really far ahead. This guy's got 16 kills right now. Monkey King Bar picked up in addition with his BKB, so he's in a good spot. So I think Random's team fight is definitely very good into the late game. Their late game is solid. All the Ags, they can pick up the Moon Shards. I think it'll really help make them competitive against heroes like Spectre and then Enigma with Octarine Refresher eventual items. I think it'll be okay.
It's going to be a battle of the big ults, you know, like get the right time lapses, the right black holes.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that actually happen in this late game. And I'm really feeling like this game is actually going to go there. It doesn't look like either team is going to be able to break the other in the next 10, 15 minutes. We have a very even gold situation. The Alchemist is beginning to taper off his usual lead. Only sitting at about 5K advantage.
Interesting
right now.
item build by Spectre here. Picks up an Orchid. So couple reasons interesting. They are having some lockdown problems. That seems pretty obvious. It's difficult for Shadow Shaman to stay alive very long this game, which is going to continue happening against the Diffusal Blade and all that damage. So with the Orchid, more disable, they can maybe kill the Weaver without help from other allies, or BKB runs out, use Orchid. And it also covers his Spectral Dagger issues, which, you know, when you cast a Dagger every 6 seconds, you're going to run out of mana a lot faster. But Hero's already got lots of stats, throwing some mana regen. You're going to cast Dagger a lot this game.
And we were talking about late game, right? Bloodthorn has got to be one of the best, like, damage efficient items out there. Ice going to die to Jarex here, looks like. Well, maybe. If they can actually chase Jarex out, Jarex refusing to leave his ultimate. He really wants that kill, but he's not going to get it. Oh, no. Flyger going to go down too. Jarex, he was pretty much saying, I'm giving up my life for my ultimate to last long enough to kill Ice, but he couldn't even do that much. Ice barely had the survivability. That's got to be that Ogre Axe right there. That extra bit, the Ogre Club, the extra bit of survivability.
Yeah. Really nice for Lesh to stay alive. That the Yules has paid off so many times, actually. I don't even think he's used it that often to set up, but just buying himself 2.5 seconds against OG's lineup has been really instrumental.
Yeah, he's got, like, he picked up the Rod of Atos. I was like, wait a minute, isn't that what the Yule Scepter is for? But now he can use the Rod more offensively and save the Yules for more defensive situations.
It's just so good for raw stats too. Plus 30 int on this item. 350 health. That's a great pickup, especially as from a support position. If you're core, you're like, I'm going to sell that way too early in this game to buy it, but support, it's worth it.
Should be able to get away, right?
Unless there's a third hero and they stop. Or the Monkey King Bar.
So close.
The Monkey King Bar actually didn't hit him.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And Y, as well as Ice, were super close to being able to get off their stuns, too. That was actually just kind of like perfect positioning for No-Tail to TP out and a little bit of luck. First Aghanim Scepter is up. Lay your bets, Purge. Who's it going to?
It's on Blink already. I won. Oh, never mind. He already has the first one. Night Stalker just got it, but we missed it. Blink's got one already. It was just given to Faith Beyond. So
Alchemist Farm just too damn fast.
Yeah,
man.
no kidding.
But you were right. Blink was the priority. Now we have the clear vision for Faith Beyond. Jarex's life just got a whole lot harder. That's why he's trying to pick up a Shadow Blade. He needs that extra bit. Of course, we're presuming that Team Random, they don't have a gem yet, but I'm going to assume it's going to be coming up soon with that Axe upgrade on Night Stalker.
I mean, there's not that much detection needed. It's really just killing wards, right? But
yeah,
I feel like Random's been playing on their side of the map like all game, yet still winning.
Oh,
kind of interesting.
Pinged out here from the scan.
Is there Anna's just tanking creeps. Okay. I was like, leg? Not attacking the creeps?
Got to get those reactive armor stacks.
Timber went for the Whirling Death attribute reduction skill point this game. Kind of interesting. Very good.
Prioritizing against Alk, right?
Yeah, it's good against strength heroes, but anything other than that, it can be iffy.
Oh, lead off right up Atos on the fly, taking out that support immediately. This is going to be a 4 versus 5 that commences. S4's got to come in big with his BKB black hole, but he's already used the BKB and can find an opening for the black hole. Gets it now. 2 heroes. There's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up damage.
Gets the follow-up.
Pressure. Now the second black hole is going to be able to catch 3 this time. Can OG output the damage? It doesn't look like it. S4 is going to die. The second black hole is down, and now OG have to try and chase down the rest of these heroes themselves. Shadow, jump away. Chakra, double Chakra, and a Whirling Death. And it times it perfectly and gets the triple kill just in time.
Man, Refresher Enigma looks real good. That was the most obvious incoming disable from Night Stalker, but instantly S4 was like, next BKB, and I'm going to black hole you guys.
Blink was laying into him too. They were trying to bring down that S4 as quick as possible, but OG, once again, they win a team fight next to the Roshan pit. They're going to claim, I believe, what is that, the 3rd Aegis of the game? We're going to have cheese as well.
There is a cheese on Roche. No new items for Spectre here since the Orchid, but definitely hard to kill. Just kill one of these bugs.
Do the bugs not latch onto you when you're a Mischief?
I mean, you're above the ground, dude. Bugs can't climb trees. Everyone knows that.
good logic. You have a good logic.
Maybe if he turns into a Mischief, they don't auto aggro or something.
Yeah.
What just happened? Did they kill a cheese? No, okay. Oh, he's killing the bug or something. I'm not sure.
No KYXY today. We're going to have the cheese for Anna.
All right.
And that extra life for No-Tail.
That's the first Aegis for OG, correct? Like Random's gotten the other 2? No, they got one.
No, they got one of them, right? It was
Yeah.
the same. It was like deja vu, where it was like Blink was alive trying to contest with the bugs.
Well, they're going high ground now. S4's got Black Hole in 14 seconds, Refresher in 30, so may seem like he's not ready to go, but he absolutely is. Time to party.
Take it down to tier 3. ROG going to stick around for more. Alchemist coming up in 10 seconds. Doesn't seem like a good idea, so they're going to retreat. Anna, is he going to be able to get the distance, though? He's so low, but it looks like OG, no, they can't really commit. They just get baited in by a cheese play. So they wait for their Alchemist to come alive. They're going to lose their shrines here, but it is still a long, long ways from the end.
Take a look at that fight once again. S4 popping BKB early. I really like how Random's playing the fights. They basically just spread out with BKBs and target whoever they want to, but as soon as he's disabled, another BKB, and he's healing insane amounts because of the Octarine core. One of the best ways to stay alive, but he's very in need of some armor. Not quite hitting level 25 for the plus 12, and it looks like he's going to buy Ags afterwards, actually.
Oh, that's going to be huge.
But him not being 25, it really matters. And it looks like he actually sold his Midas at some point previously. That's going to hurt him in the long run, considering how much gold that was outputting right now with the cooldown reduction.
Yeah, I was watching that fight. It looks like maybe Team Random made a bit of a mistake. You saw Faith Beyond actually throw out the silence on that Enigma as the Black Hole and the BKB faded. And then, you know, he obviously refreshed. He re-BKB'd instantly. That silence is gone, and he was a bit too close. So I'm sure that's not a mistake that Team Random are going to be making next time they fight.
Yeah. Maybe that was why he didn't expect it, because he sold Midas or something like that. Just that little 950 gold boost could have made a difference, but it's definitely going to affect S4's items in the late game. He's still going to farm really fast by all means, but that's easily like a good 140 GPM that he gave up by selling that thing. So hopefully it pays off in the end.
There is the Abyssal Blade. Now these supports of Team Random, there is hard lockdown for No-Tail to be able to jump on them. That's going to be problematic. Ice is able to kite right now with the Rod of Atos onto No-Tail, turns around, kills a ward for a second, but he is going to be caught. Jerix hits the first stun, BKB activated by Ice, tries to run himself away with the help of the Glimmer Cape. They're going to jump on a Shadow now. He's down to half health. No-Tail actually making himself a target. He does have that Aegis. So all this damage that Team Random laying in, BKB, Black Hole, there's the opening for S4. If they can take down Blink here, this would be huge, and he does not have buyback. Team Random are going to have to fight this one out, 3 versus 5, and Faith Beyond, he is actually going to be Abyssal Blade up, and they can lose his life as well. A little bit of Orchid help as No-Tail shuffles that one out of his backpack. Shadow's going to be up next. He is shackled up, and it looks like Team Random is going to get wiped inside of their own base. The buybacks are coming in, but can they even fight this one without Blink? They need to be able to kill No-Tail. Will so deep inside the base, but S4, the second Black Hole, it only catches one hero, but one hero is all that matters. Shadow, they bring him down for a second time. 2 minutes on the clock, and Team Random are done with game 1. They call GG.
Just like DAC, man, the Enigma on OG just seems so overpowered. Especially in that last fight. He knew exactly what he wanted. Let's take time-lapse out of the game. He commits his BKB Black Hole for that one. And then once they get all the buybacks for us, he says, let's grab another buyback core. Let's get the important here. The guy that